Freddy's site plan at 646 East Cloud. If there's an applicant here who would like to make a presentation, talk about the project at all, that'd be great.
You came all this way. You might as well say something.
If you guys could please introduce yourselves.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us here. My name is Kenny Saldana. I'm the Senior Director of Construction for Freddy's.
And I'm Erica Knibe. I'm a Franchise Development Manager for Freddy's. We're presenting an end cap tenant finish drive-through for Freddy's to be open before the end of this year.
Yeah, correct. We're looking to have construction started in late July, about a 90-day construction schedule. This will be our typical prototype, hopefully with a patio, which we're going to ask for a variance later on. But yeah, this is it's our typical prototype, 2,600 square feet,
Smaller than that.
2,500 square feet.
In line with the style of the rest of the City of Wichita locations.
Not
Do you-
much.
Do you have any other end cap like this in Wichita?
We have Amadon as an end cap, but it does not have a drive-through. And then Derby is also an end cap, and it does have a drive-through. And so is Ridge Road. Ridge would be the one like close to the airport.
Yeah, over off of Maple.
Mhm.
Close to Canes. No, I'm just.
Yes. We're doing a lot more end caps now, just because you can get them open a lot faster. So
Sure.
seems like a good fit for us in the market that we're not in yet.
Julie, to clarify, I think the agenda says a site plan that was previously approved when the shell building. So this is a sign plan package.
This is a site plan in that there is the sign and the awnings that are attached as a part of this, as you can see.
Okay.
There is an approved site plan for this shell. You're correct. That was from 2023. And that is where our approved lighting plan comes from, which I stuck in here. This is already in place, so the Freddy's is not responsible for the lighting plan. That's why they did not include one. I wanted to point that out. The approved site plan already took care of everything to do with the parking lot, but they are adding this parking lot signage. So yes, this is mostly for signs. It is the exterior tenant finish, which is signs and mostly awnings in this case. They're adding 8 signs, including the parking lot signage, and 5 awnings to the end cap that they are finishing. The wall signage is well within requirements. Even if it were just, the building were just a little space that they're filling, they're perfectly fine on their wall coverage, but there's plenty of space left over for other tenants in here. So they were considerate on that front. 3 of the signs that are included are lighted and the rest are unlit, and none of them violate any of our requirements for signage. So everything seems pretty above board. As was alluded to, the outdoor patio seating area is currently on our agenda for the Planning Commission meeting this month. That is a conditional use to allow for the patio seating. It's not really a part of this, but just want to let you all know.
So there are really no outstanding staff comments at this point.
I think we had 1 comment total to send back to them when we got their plans. So no, this looks great to us.
It's good.
Does this include a menu board? I didn't see that on the site plan. Because I don't think there's not one out there when the shell was built.
Right. Not to my knowledge. Is that something y'all were planning?
So there is a menu board, and I believe we submitted that as well too as part of the site plan. It'll be at the entrance of that little back.
Back behind the dentist
Right.
office.
I thought I remember seeing a plan that had a detector loop and a menu board on it. That's not in this package, but I
Yeah.
thought there was
That's
something
With the original construction there.
no, with this associated with Freddy's, that there was like some pavement removal for that detector loop.
You might be right.
So I noticed that wasn't. So I didn't know if that was part of this package or if that's.
I don't have it in this package. If that is something you want to include in your approval, have us make sure that we have that.
So we'd be taking out concrete then?
It's just,
And replacing. I would like to think that would be something that could be staff approved if, just as we're talking amongst ourselves, yeah, it's a, you remove some pavement, it's a
Well,
pressure
it-
sensor.
Yeah, and we wouldn't really have to remove any pavement. What we do is we cut it into the concrete and then that sensor goes in there and then it just caulks and patches. I mean, it's
There's just a small groove that
Yeah.
you're
correct.
routing
yes.
out of the concrete.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't include that in my
Yeah.
slides for you, but it is in your packet, I believe.
Any other questions or comments? I assume all the equipment is rooftop mounted, is that right? All the mechanical equipment?
That is correct. We will have two rooftop units, one for the front of house, one for the back of house, one DOAS, one rooftop unit. They'll all be up on the roof.
And those will be, your parapet's tall enough to screen those then? Or
Um,
will they be screened differently?
We have screened them in the past before, yes. So if that's what we're being asked to do, we'll definitely do that. And we have a
Yeah.
vendor for that.
Yeah, that would be my
Absolutely.
recommendation to screen those from
Yep.
public
Agree.
view.
We'll definitely do it. We'll do it on all, on 4 sides or 3 sides.
I think in this case, it'd have to be 4 just
Yeah.
because there's
I'm thinking too.
4 open sides right now.
Absolutely. We'll do it.
we can do that.
And the color match the building color.
Yeah, I mean, something consistent. We don't have specific requirements as long as it's screened in some
Absolutely.
fashion. But if you've done that on other buildings and it fits your brand standard, then that would be acceptable. So,
That's something that
Absolutely.
we as staff, when you guys are in the permitting process, we can talk about that if need be, but shouldn't hold you up at all.
Okay. Yep, absolutely.
Are you looking to make it white or change the color?
No,
We're leaving the color as
we're
is.
leaving everything as is. The only thing we're doing to the exterior is adding the signage and awnings and the drive-through equipment,
No lights.
the lights as well too. Yeah.
enough.
Mr. Executive Director,
Yes? All right, that's fine.
I move to approve the site plan for Freddy's located at 646 East Cloud Avenue, Suite 100 with the notations of the rooftop units or the mechanicals on the roof be screened on all 4 sides. And then Kevin mentioned, do we need to approve the cut-in?
That is a part of this. I just didn't put it in the slides, so it's.
Oh,
if you're
okay.
approving it,
Okay.
you're approving that.
All right.
Okay. I did think of one more question before there's any other motions, but I do see the trash enclosure up there. Are you guys are planning to use the trash enclosure for the
The
development?
existing, yeah.
The existing
Correct.
one that's there,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I second.
Any other conversation? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. When are you looking to be open?
Before the end of the year, hopefully early fourth quarter, if not soon.
Okay.
Soft opening.
Soft serve ice cream, huh?
All right.
Awesome. Nice. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Please.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
See you guys. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, so we're ready for the next agenda item, which is Hope Community Church at 1831 East 21st Street. There's applicant Scott, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. I'm Scott Ramser. I'm with WDM Architects and Hope Community Church. So we have a parking lot there. The overall site plan, yeah, you can kind of, so there's the existing. And the new parking lot is on the south side of the existing building there in the darker. Yeah. So showing both pieces. The darker area is just to represent what we're going to bid as base bid, and that's 60 new places, new parking spaces. And then the additional 35 at the end would be if we can afford to do it now or in a year or, whenever we get back to it, but showing both of those. The existing just has a service drive that comes around back of that building. So that's the lighter gray that's kind of on the building side of the parking there.
Do you guys currently use it for parking just as dirt?
So it is used off and on. Sometimes there's just people parked along the back drive, which we've asked them to pull into the grass if they're going to do it because it is a fire lane. But yeah. Part of the reason we're wanting that parking there is it gets us more accessible spaces that are close to a building entry than what we have now. But there's an overall need for more parking. And so that's what we're looking into. There's also a strong possibility of a separate freestanding building that would be just south of that parking within the next couple of years. There's a ministry that's growing that would kind of want to be in a somewhat isolated building. So that's indicated by the darker dash line there south of that building or south of the parking. Not necessarily looking for any approval on that, but just that's part of what we're setting this up for.
And so from staff perspective, all the light levels, landscaping, all that looks
we
appropriate.
went back and forth a little bit here, and
Yeah.
this final submittal we are very happy with. They've got all the landscaping and lighting requirements and modified some dimensions in the parking lot that Kevin had noticed. We're a little off. Fires, a couple of small comments have been addressed, so we're in support of this package.
Does that match the rest of the parking or,
Match in what way?
well, I mean, you said we went back and forth, so
On just requirements for parking lots, so site plan approval.
It was more the dimensions of parking
Right, more
stalls
numbers
and
and
We
landscaping.
we had some of the rows 18 feet instead of 19 feet. We had initially asked if we could forego the screening on the south side. And so in the first version I sent in, we actually didn't show it. We had all the internal trees, but not the screening along the southwest edge, but south side of the parking.
Julie, I don't know if you saw them. I added a few more comments today. I get, and one of them may be able to clarify up against the existing building where that drive is. You've got a 7-foot sidewalk, which is great. 19-foot parking stalls, which is great. Is there a curb there today?
There is not a curb there today. The intent would be to use wheel stops along that edge.
Yeah, that was the comment
Yeah.
I added. And a lot of these could probably be picked up on your permit set.
Yeah,
Uh,
we
It was that, and then there was a discrepancy between the photometric and the site plan of pole locations. Your site plan shows more poles, so if your photometric's good with less poles, then it's just a matter of on your
yeah,
permit plan.
we
that
got
gets
we
sealed.
finally got
thing, but-
our photometric drawings from our engineer later than desired, and I had already sent in the others because I didn't know if we were going to get it. So yes, what's shown on the photometric is correct. So that's what we would plan on.
Yeah, I think the pole cleanup and then the wheel stops, if there's no curb there, were the only things I noticed on this latest set.
I only had one minor thought. It's more of I think a best practice than a requirement, but there is one handicap stall that's up next to the building, the one that's closest to the building. At least on the sheet I'm looking at, there's not a sidewalk or hardscape directly on the driver's
on the
side
driver's side. Yeah,
door
that's
of a
good point.
handicap
Yeah.
spot. So it can be a little tough if you got an impairment to get out there. So. And drainage, I'm guessing drainage all looked okay to everybody, right?
Yeah, there was no grading plan submitted. And I don't know if that's something that's pending. I mean, I'm assuming it's sheet flowing and there's not, you'd want to see that for sure before a permit's issued.
Yes,
I assume the drainage is fairly straightforward on
it
this
does
because it's
sheet
away
pretty
from the
easy.
building.
We do have a detention area out by the road. The engineer is currently looking at that to see if it meets what we need or if we have to enlarge it. Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but it's on the north side of the drive that goes out to Prairie Creek.
Mhm.
So there's actually a swale that goes along there. Yeah, so basically between that and that bottom picture is what's currently there.
permitting for any grading work would have.
Yeah, yes, and it's in the works. We just did not have it prepared for this.
One other thing, I don't know if this was discussed, and I just noticed this for the first time. The UDM has it's a 2-foot concrete strip adjacent to the curb, anywhere there's a curb next to a parking stall, similar to what Todd just mentioned, but it's technically for any island. You notice them all over town. They're not depicted on here. Is that something you'd have heartburn adding? It reduces your planting area a little bit. So that would, I guess, would be if they're not going to be added, that would be a detour from what's in the UDM, or they can be added in.
So again, what is it you're asking for?
So per the UDM, anywhere there's a parking stall adjacent to a curb,
You have a
on the
2-foot.
high side of the curb, there's a little 2-foot
Okay,
strip
I
of
got you.
concrete for people opening their doors. They can step out onto,
Yep.
it's not stepping into mulch or
Directly
whatever.
into a shrub or.
So, yeah, now that I say that, you'll drive all around Andover and be like, oh, they are everywhere. But, and I just now noticed that on this. So.
Any other questions, comments, motions?
Is that something staff could approve then?
Definitely. Yep.
If needed,
Just
we
a
don't need
slightly
to bring them
revised
back.
layout, yeah.
Did you guys know that, or?
I don't know if it was mentioned in our review, so thank you, Kevin, for bringing that
As
up.
I just saw it. So.
Yeah. But that is an easy fix.
Okay. And then if one of us does want to approve the plan or the motion, should we just go ahead and add in the 35, Todd, or the extra 35? So they don't have to come back, or?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think that'd be appropriate.
I guess that was kind of our thought. If that could be done, it would make it
If
easy.
you want, you would be held to that in the future. You'd have to revise.
Well,
the site
right,
plan
if we
you want.
change something, yeah, I understand that.
Definitely
but
acceptable.
if-
yeah.
And then
If
the
any
building would
curb-
have its own site plan, but yeah, at least
Right.
the 35 spaces would be.
Yeah.
As long as it looks
Right.
as on the
Yeah,
plan. you wouldn't
yeah,
have to come
that's,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Obviously, if we decided to do something different, then we understand.
Yeah, maybe if there's a motion, maybe we just note that as alternate parking. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking that's an alternate bid, right? That
Yeah.
Might get
Mhm.
accepted as part of this package or it might not. So,
Right.
Mr. Executive Director?
yes, sir.
I move to approve the site plan for Hope Community Church generally located at 1831 East 21st Street to include this bid package, I'll call it, of the 60 spaces, but also the alternate package of the 35 spaces. Staff to approve the stuff that we've outlined, which were the 2-foot, what'd you call 'em? Buffer concrete around the islands. The wheel stops. Was there a third thing?
No,
The grading plan?
And the grading plan to staff.
Well, and then confirm the site lighting poles.
And to confirm the light poles match the photometric on the plan. That's it. Thank you.
Nicely said. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other member items? Any motions to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, so moved. There you go.